Tim, I'm feeling afraid, fearful that quitting my job of many years will be a financial mistake. But I just dread each time I start my workday. I know I have the power to take the leap, but I still have many fear-based reasons. Here's the key. The fear will always be there. Why? Observe nature, and nature has got your answer for you. Yes, everything in nature is growing. Everything in nature is slowly but surely evolving its very DNA, right? That very desire and need to evolve and grow and change is within your very DNA right now. So what we call fear is simply combustion propulsion designed to make you move. Because have you ever noticed anytime you feel fear, you do move in some way? Some people, they fleet, they run away, but some people actually do go towards it. Whatever they are doing, they are moving. They're committing to something. So remind yourself, all fear is just a force. This is almost like some people, it's kind of like the fire within you. This uncontrollable fire has become uncontrollable for some because people are not giving it a direction. We got to give the inner chaos a direction of where you're looking to go. Without that, it becomes unmanageable, kind of like a wildfire that's now just truly unmanageable. We're going to give it a direction so that way that same fire can be like, for example, powering up a vehicle, right? Taking you to that same destination you want to get to. Making sense, by the way. So remind yourself, throughout history, throughout our evolution, fear has always been there for people. Think about cavemen, cavewomen in the earliest years. Us human beings, we were fearing for our life, so we got creative, created some weapons, we created some shelter, right? We had to focus on reinvention. Fast forward many thousands of years later, fearing for disease, fearing for our human life. Again, these clever scientists got together to create some of the cures. That way we do not actually all die off from certain diseases. Fast forward many years later, if you observe reality, you realize fear has been the very fuel that has moved our civilization forwards. So the question you got to ask yourself right now is, what does life want from you? If you're feeling fear, it's a sign that something's got to change. Because here's the thing, we're wired for change. We're wired for evolving. And anytime we aren't, you experience what's called discontent and longing. What is that a sign of? Important signal from your intuition, you're meant for more. But what do most people do when they feel discontent and longing? Well, in our modern world today, we feel like all of a sudden we're broken, so we start numbing it. We binge watch YouTube videos, TV, Netflix, in hopes that we can entertain ourselves for a little bit, right? Some of us take some tablets, some of us take drugs, some of us drink alcohol to numb that pain, not realizing you are numbing the very signal that intuition is giving you. We have numbed it to the extent that our psychology has got no other choice than to use some of these strong survival emotions, such as fear, anxiety, such as stress. All of these emotions designed to make you move. Anytime you felt it, you've gone out there looking for solutions, right? Anytime you've had a lot of anxiety, kind of like me in the past, notice you do eventually go out looking for solutions after many years of feeling that way. So you do end up evolving. Notice how your mind and body is always trying to get you to move and grow. Yes? So if right now you are experiencing a signal, you got to question and infer what's the meaning behind this. What does life want me to do? What does life want from me right now? So instead of asking yourself, which job is going to pay me more? Or shall I quit my job or shall I not? Lousy questions. Maybe ask yourself the most important question. Which decision honors who I want to become? Which decision honors my potential? Would you agree? A very important decision and a very important question. Every decision, remind yourself, doesn't just change your future, it changes you. True. When you're going into a relationship, notice, you shouldn't be asking, do you like that partner? Of course, That's a semi-important question. But the most important question is, would I like who I become with that partner? Because every partner changes you. True. Before moving abroad to a different country, don't ask, do I like that country? I'm sure you've already asked that. Ask yourself, does this country honor my potential? Honor who I want to be? Because in that moment, you're now becoming aware that decisions is not about just choosing different futures. It's about choosing different versions of you. And what we're trying to avoid in this game called life is getting to the end of our life and the person we became meeting the person we could have become. That's the greatest life regret. You don't want to get to the end of your life when you agree watching the highlight show reel of the life you could have lived. How many of you can feel what I'm feeling just thinking about this? I really don't want to get to the end of my life watching this movie of the life I could have been living, the person I could have become, the sort of family I was able to cultivate. We want to avoid that at all costs. So remind yourself this. Why people fail in life is because they got way more overemphasis on money than they do time. Let me remind you, money is infinite. You can earn always more back money. It's infinite. Time, finite. Once it's gone forever. I'm sorry to sound so morbid, but don't fear death, fear the unlived life. Fear getting to the end of your life, realizing you didn't live, you existed. So again, ask yourself, what decision honors who I want to be? And whatever you're able to tune in as an answer in that moment, remind yourself this. To know what bad decisions are often, you have to make more decisions. To figure out in life what you want to do, you got to do more things, right? Life is what happens when we're too busy making plans. We've all heard of this. We know this. But to allow life to unfold, you got to allow life to unfold. You got to do more things, figure out what to do in this game called life. Because let me remind you, most people waste their entire life thinking about it. So how can you possibly know what a bad choice is if you're not willing to actually decide? So in the end, remind yourself, nobody's ever gotten to the end of their life wishing they had done less. Nobody's ever said at the end of their life, oh, I wish I'd taken less risks. I wish I played it more safe. Nobody. So when you take a step forwards, you're either going to win or learn. It is an absolute no-brainer. But if you don't take a step forwards, then you never win, never learn. You're stuck in indecision, the worst form of decision that kills most people's dreams before it's even gotten started. So perhaps you want to tune in and perhaps you want to do what you intuitively know is right. Otherwise, you risk the biggest risk in this game called life, which is realizing you didn't live.